And good Saturday morning. Hey, falling asleep on the job there a little bit. Brett said this music's going to run out. Right after it ran out, our intro music for this morning. Good Saturday morning, rainy outside. Good morning to be with us over the next couple hours as we discuss quite a few topics this morning. And Major League Baseball is one of the wackiest playoff weeks in Major League Baseball that I remember. I think you guys probably agree about that. Brett don't want to talk about it.
One of the most boring, really. One of the most boring to me.
Well, your team didn't win.
Other than some drama in the Atlanta Philly series. It was
and I mean
no drama at all.
Yeah, it was a couple 2-0 sweeps.
I told Mike my headline this week would have been, it's hard to say. It's hard to pronounce and get it just right. Death of ya. Yeah. Because that's what it was for the Atlanta Braves. It was the death of the Philadelphia Phillies that eliminated those guys from the playoff contention. You know, I'm a guy that whenever I watch the NCAA tournament, you know, I've always told you guys, give me the Dukes, the Carolinas, the Kentuckys, the Blue Bloods, the powerhouses. You know, I want to see those teams. Kansas, I'll throw in there, and that's just Michigan State. I want to see those kind of teams that are good every year. It's kind of funny though when it gets down to it. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see. I hate to say it, the San Diego States, who had a remarkable year, you know.
And Florida Atlantic, don't forget about them.
Florida Atlantic.
Boca Raton.
But, for some reason, I've just always wanted to see good morning, Monty Moss Teller, telling us good morning. I've just always want to see those. But it's funny, though, because I don't feel quite as strong about it in college football. I still want to see the really good programs, but I would rather see kind of a mixture than what we see.
Well, I don't want to see somebody sneak in and then get blown out.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
We don't want to see TCU's debacle.
You know what? Did they really sneak in though? Because they won their semi game.
That's right.
You know,
they were 12-1, or was it 12-0 before they played?
Does that hurt the future
Georgia
teams that are in the mold of a TCU that are?
There was something in one because they lost to Kansas State and
lost the championship game.
Yeah,
lost the championship game. And you know what? If in hindsight now, if the committee had known what was going to happen after that loss to Kansas State, they probably keep them out. Mm-hmm. And who would that at that time have put in? Who was next on the?
Well, you go down to Alabama. They did have 2 losses.
Was Alabama the next one?
Probably so.
That's what did they finish ranked?
Yeah, I can't
fifth
remember who finished 5th. But
yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Like it could have been Alabama. They might have been the number 5 team.
But yet TCU beat Michigan, so that gave them credibility.
Right, it did. Or it took some away from Michigan, one or the other.
Yeah, that was one of the great.
Maybe Michigan was glad they didn't take that AW at the in the championship. I don't think they would have.
I don't think it would have been that bad.
It would not have been that bad.
But they were without their star running back. Michigan was at that time.
That's true.
But back to the baseball now. Do you want to see the Diamondbacks in the World Series necessarily?
No.
So you want to see the Phillies over the Diamondbacks?
Well, I guess
I do too.
Let's just tee it up the way we did last year. Phillies, Astros.
There's no excitement with the Diamondbacks. I don't want to see a Cinderella story in baseball.
Not in the World Series.
And not just the Astros, Mike. I'll take Texas right now too because I'll take they're a major market.
Yeah, they are.
They are hot right now at the right time. And I've been texting with a couple buddies this week, actually 3 of them, about trying to find out has there ever been anyone to win the World Series MVP from each league, and there hasn't, as far as we could find.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Yeah,
there's only been 3 people win multiple World Series MVPs, and one of those did it with 2 different teams. And I was going to have this as a trivia question.
Same league, though. Well, you can't.
But I was worried that you'd already. I heard you talk about it last night before you went off, and I thought, well, maybe he's already looked over this.
I have no idea. I have no. I got to guess. You want me to guess? Reggie Jackson.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow. Because Mr. October was a great A and a great Yankee.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he was playing in a lot of postseason games. So he's the one that not as many as today because we have more games than ever in the postseason. But, folks, you can weigh in. And I know there's going to be a lot of hatred of the Phillies come out, and because all the Atlanta Braves fans, and I don't blame them, that's just the way it works. All the Atlanta Braves fans, it's their rival. They lost to that rival. So they're going to hope it's Arizona that gets in. Very few are going to want the Phillies to win. Very few Braves fans are going to want the Phillies to win. But what a crowd! What a crowd in Philadelphia! What a scene! What a it was as good as it gets. I mean, it really was. And I'm a Red Sox guy, and I love those crowds in Fenway during the playoffs.
Well, I heard.
But it was
I was
unique.
listening to one of the broadcasts on the radio driving home on one of the nights that they were playing, and somebody on there said that the Phillies had the best home field advantage in baseball.
Well, somebody had a sign in the crowd that said there's home field advantage, and then there's Philadelphia.
Yeah. But my first thought was it's not as good as Boston's crowd in October.
And the Yankee crowd.
Yeah.
The Yankee crowd gets wound up for some October baseball as well. But it's the present, though, and that's what we're looking at. It's the present. It's the hot topic. The Philadelphia fans, they are good. They are good. I mean, it's.
I think Houston's really good too.
And
that place gets loud.
I did not yet. Yes, it does. And I think Texas would for this situation. And Texas has got to be hungry because
they only got one home game so far.
They went to back-to-back World Series a couple years ago. How many years ago was that now at this point? 6, 8, maybe
more. I think it's more than
more.
that.
And who's the two teams that knocked them out?
Was the Phillies one of them?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Giants were one of them, weren't they? Didn't the Giants beat Texas?
But we never did finish the sentence, though. Corey Seager from Northwest Cabarrus High School is the man that has the opportunity to win. He could be the first player in baseball history to win the Major League World Series MVP. He's already done it in the National League with the Dodgers a couple years ago.
Right.
And now, his team's still alive, and is he the best hitter on that team? Great shortstop, too.
Yeah, I think so.
Great shortstop, too. I mean, it's not just about his bat, and that's why I think, he would have the opportunity down the road. Of course, 99% of the time we know you have to win that World Series to get MVP. I would like to go back and look and see if anybody's won the MVP of the World Series and when it was last done that was on the losing end. We've seen it in the Super Bowl maybe once or twice. But very rare. I'd even be willing to say that may never happen in the NBA Finals, that you've had somebody on the losing team.
So the Rangers lost in 2010
and 11
to the Giants,
or 09. Wasn't it back to back?
10 and 11.
Okay, they lost to Mike's Giants. Mike didn't even remember that they beat the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's seared in my memory.
It better be.
And in 2011, they lost to St. Louis. So it wasn't the Phillies. It was Giants and Cardinals.
Stacey Jones weighing in. I'm a Yankees fan and hope the Phillies win.
Yep. And usually, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about it. Usually the big market fans, and I consider my Red Sox a big market. Usually you don't pull for another, Usually, if your I say this, I think it's sports wide. If your team's not in it, most of the time you pull for the underdog.
Yeah, typically.
But for whatever reason, I don't know a lot of people pulling for Arizona to make it.
Well, it's just
to the next round.
In the West, games are late. Don't know much about them.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. The games are not going to be late. I mean, the games are all going to be at 8 o'clock. World Series is going to be at 8 o'clock.
No, I mean during the regular season.
Yeah,
Arizona.
that may be it. Yeah, that may be it.
Just like we don't pay a lot of.
But it doesn't bother Brett because he, out of 162 Dodger games regular season this year, you watched 100?
No.
No, you didn't watch that many?
No, not without the
baseball package. Made it tougher, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But how many would you have watched if you had access to it? Would you have watched 100?
Not all the way through.
Right. Yeah, those late ones on the West Coast, even for a loyal fan,
none
get
were
to be a little
later
late.
than last night's, guys. I fell asleep but woke up as the game was going into overtime between Colorado and Stanford.
Did you stay awake and watch the 2 overtimes?
Mm-hmm.
And what a comeback.
What a comeback by the Cardinals.
29-0 down. Came roaring back. Can a Cardinal roar? Came roaring back.
They definitely chirp loudly, let's put it that way. But, wow, does that pretty much end the story of Colorado's season? I mean, as far as the National Pub and
they'll still pull off an upset somewhere along the way.
Be.
I would just, I mean, it's near Southern Cal. They played them very close last week. I know they got behind, but they made a roaring comeback. A buffalo can roar. It just happens when he's running.
But let's face it, a little bit of the gravitas is worn off after they got blasted by Oregon.
Yeah.
And what are they now, 5-3, 4-3, something like that?
I think 4-3.
4-3.
Yeah.
But he's only going to get better. I really
there's no doubt about that.
I really do believe
made
the
a
program
splash, a tremendous
will
splash.
get better as he'll pull in a lot of really
big
good
time
athletes.
Players are clamoring to come to Boulder.
Yep. I heard something interesting the other day. Did you guys hear about? Well, let me read these baseball comments first. I don't want to go without doing these. Denny says pulling for Texas since Jay Hefner's a scout for them. Yes, that would mean Jay gets a World Series ring as well.
Yeah, I'll go for that.
And Lenny says he thinks the Cardinals knocked out Texas one time. Was that their other loss, Brett, in the World Series?
Yeah, Giants and Cardinals.
Giants and Cardinals. So yes. Now I want Brett to answer this if he knows it, because you told me there have been 3 multiple MVPs in the World Series.
Yeah,
but none ever from 2 leagues. And I got Reggie Jackson.
Yep.
So
he's the only one to do it with 2 different teams.
How far back do I have to go?
60s.
Oh my! Well, that means it was most likely the Yankees.
Nope.
Neither one? Mazeroski's what Mike's going to say. Bill Mazeroski.
Frank Robinson. No.
It wasn't Mazeroski. He hit the home run to beat the Yankees, right, in 60, the walk-off home run that won the World Series. That's the first time and only time, right, we've ever had a walk-off World Series. Joe Carter had a walk-off, but it wasn't – was it the deciding game or not?
I think it was.
Was it? Did it end it? So that might have been against the Phillies. Speaking of the Phillies, I think they played the Phillies once or twice in that time. But I have to go back to the 60s to name my first instinct, Double M, Mickey Mantle. Nope.
You're on the wrong
team?
Wrong track. Wrong team.
Okay, so it's got to be a hurler. Wow, I get it right here.
That's one of them.
Oh, yeah, Sandy Koufax.
Yep.
Is that what Mike said?
Yep.
That's what Lenny said.
63 and 65.
So Sandy Koufax.
Those great Dodger years.
And the other one's going to be a pitcher as well?
Yep.
In the 60s.
Maybe the second best pitcher from the 60s.
I don't know how far back this guy goes. I really don't know the era he played, but when did Don Larson?
50s.
Was it? Okay.
56 on the
only no-hitter still,
game.
right?
Yeah.
In World Series play belongs to Don Larson. So, and you said we had to go back to 19. Give me the year.
64 and 67.
64 and 67.
Whitey Ford.
He's way before that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Since we have no clue, throw us a team out there.
Cardinals.
Oh, Bob Gibson.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah, well, that made it too easy, didn't it?
Yep.
Made it too easy. So 2 pitchers have won it twice, and now I've already forgotten Reggie, Mr. October, has won the trophy a couple times. But it was Lenny Anthony, Jeff Mason, Rodney Willis, and myself that were. We weren't even. I should have created a group chat and let everybody hear everybody's thoughts. But every one of them was in on it, trying to figure out, had anybody won.
In 65, Koufax pitched Game 2, Game 5, and Game 7.
Yeah. Well.
Against.
And yes, Lenny, it was Bob Gibson. That's before pitchers became, and I'll let you guys fill in the blanks. Well, however wherever you.
Oh.
I had a different word.
Well, is it really the pitchers or is it the way that they're managed? And
Both. I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but
or is it the fact that they all throw 100 and
brought
they
up
just
this way?
wear themselves
how many
down
dads
quicker?
step in and tell their coach, now he's not going to pitch, but 80 pitches a week, and things like that, and that's where it starts,
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't know of any issues after the fact and when those guys are done that they've had to deal
The
with
Dodgers
because
beat
they pitched
Minnesota
120
in 65.
Minnesota.
Koufax lost game 2.
I didn't even know Minnesota had a team in 65.
And he won Game 5 and Game 7, both.
I'm sure
in relief. Did he come in relief?
No,
in
he
one
pitched complete game, 10 strikeout shutouts.
in Game 5 and 7.
Yeah.
So he had basically 2 days off because you got a travel day in there.
After he lost Game 2 when he allowed 1 run.
Wow.
You see, the Twins would have had slugging Harmon Killebrew then, wouldn't they?
Best drinking name of an athlete.
Killebrew.
As far as I know.
Who else?
Except for Johnny Tequila.
Can't think. Tony Oliva.
Maybe.
Yeah, the only name I see on
Jim
here
Catt.
is Jim Catt was the Twins' ace that year.
Cott.
Jim Catt. Cott. Jim Cott.
Kitty Cott.
Kitty
That's
Cott.
what they call him. Was Rod Carew? Did you say Rod Carew?
No, I forgot him.
Was he on that squad?
He may have
back then?
been. Great hitter.
I don't know if he-
leadoff man.
What year did you say, Brett?
65.
I remember Rod Carew
Oh,
playing,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
obviously not in the 60s, but I remember Rod Carew
Mhm.
playing, so he could have started as early, or been with the
He
Twins.
won a
as early
couple
as
batting
65.
championships,
He
didn't
won, I
he?
think he won more than a couple.
He flirted with
He was the
400.
Tony Gwynn of that era,
Yeah.
or Tony Gwynn was the Rod Carew.
I mean,
Either way you wanna
there were
put it.
times when he kind of looked like he might challenge.
I
Ted
don't
Williams.
see him on the roster in 65.
Don't see him.
Okay.
It couldn't have been long after that.
Killebrew
I would
was Jerry Kendall,
Jerry Kendall.
Rich Rollins,
Don't know that one.
Rich Rollins.
Jimmy Hall, Tony Oliver,
Jimmy Hall.
Oliva.
Oliva.
Yeah.
Those,
I think he was at a game in the playoffs. I think they showed him.
those,
on camera.
all those names are in bold. I don't know
Maybe
if that
it's
means
I
they
want
were
to say
Hall of
Jimmy
Famers or
Hall had some type of North Carolina connection. I could be wrong.
Mount Holly.
Yeah.
Born in Mount
that's
Holly.
what I thought. Born in Mount Holly.
Good job, Mike. That's a
The old memory bank.
old. He's old or old. Memory bank. Which one? Which
Still
one are you?
working a bit.
Yeah. I thought last night I got straightened out last night quick, and I appreciate it by Jeff Mason. I thought there was no baseball. Until Monday, and I just get my dates. It's because I had October 15th, and I thought, well, that's Monday, and I don't know why I thought, but that baseball does get underway tomorrow night. Who's the Sunday night football game? Is that Chargers Cowboys?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is that Monday night? That might be Monday night. I think it's the Bills and the Giants.
That's right. Yeah, it's
Oh,
Bills
boy.
and Giants.
That's
I will be-
Bills and Giants are Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday night.
Yeah.
I will
that's
be
it.
paying more attention to Texas and Houston.
Yep.
If the Bills and Giants were both, how many games have they played now? 5. If they were both 3-2 or 4-1 or whatever, might be a little more interesting.
Not only that,
No, I know where you're going. No,
I was going to say Daniel Jones is.
that's what I'm starting you with.
No,
No,
Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
Jones. There will be
Boy,
no
that
Daniel
might
Jones.
give the Giants a better shot.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor.
One
Because
good
Daniel
look at it
Jones
that
is
way.
horrible.
Tyrod Taylor will be the starting quarterback for the Giants. I'll say this about it. It's something different for Buffalo to prepare for that they can't really watch any film on unless they go back
Yeah.
a couple years and watch film.
I guess
Tyrod Taylor.
Saquon Barkley's status is still in question. I don't really know. I just know he's been hurt.
Lenny wants to know, Brett, was Jim Perry one of the pitchers? That's Gaylord Perry's brother of both of Campbell University. Was Jim Perry one of the Twins pitchers when they were in that World Series?
Yes.
Was he?
Yep. He was
Okay.
on there.
Jim Perry, the late Jim Perry. I think he has passed. I know
Yeah.
Gaylord has, but I couldn't remember about Jim. But the baseball gets underway Sunday night, 8:15 on Fox. Jordan Montgomery. Now, anybody want to know where they know the name Jordan Montgomery from? Does anybody?
Well, some people know it from pitching for the Cardinals for several years.
Yeah. More local. More on a local note. Because Mike said, doesn't he have North Carolina? This guy pitched for Sumter in the Legion World Series in Shelby 1 year. Jordan Montgomery. He will be taking on. Now, you remember he was a Yankee, and before he was a Yankee, he was something else. But he's had a pretty good career, even though he's moved around a little bit. He's still drawing a pretty good paycheck. He'll be going against Verlander, a name you do recognize.
Yeah.
In Game 1 on Sunday night, 8:15 on Fox. Then
Yeah,
both
what
teams
about Verlander and Scherzer both pitching
where they used to.
this late in the. I mean, do they always find a way to be on the right teams?
Wouldn't it be now? Let me think a minute.
They were both Mets,
but now
few
one's
months
in
ago.
Houston, one's in Texas.
Yeah.
Right? They could have been facing each other. How good would that have been?
Yeah. And Scherzer, I think Scherzer is going to pitch in this series. He hadn't pitched yet in the playoffs.
I think I know the answer to this question, but you tell me if it's an easy answer or if it's a difficult answer. Are Verlander and Scherzer both Hall of Famers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it's an easy answer for you.
Yeah.
Easy to answer that. Yeah, I would agree. That's why I said I think I know the answer that you're going to come at me with. Game 2.
I would say they're as automatic Hall of Famers as anybody in the whole league right now.
Pitched for the Yankees. Now, Monty, you got to remember who you're talking to. You better name him for me.
Jordan Montgomery.
Oh, yes, Montgomery did pitch for the Yankees.
Yankees
yes.
then Cardinals.
Yep.
And then
I thought I mentioned that. But he did pitch for the Yankees at one time. But he didn't break in, I don't think, with the Yankees, did he? It seemed like he was – either that he's been to a team in between because I think it's his third team.
I said he was in
I'm
St. Louis.
I'm trying to read
and got traded
at the same time.
mid-season.
Yeah. Okay. I don't totally understand that move either, unless it was for, a top prospect or something. Texas and Houston will play Game 2. They'll play 2 games actually before the National League gets started. That one's Sunday at 4:37. Arizona, Philadelphia at 8:07. You guys realize that the Diamondbacks ended the regular season on a 4-game losing streak?
Yeah, so much for momentum heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, ended it on a 4-game losing streak. Now, who did they knock off in the
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
Yeah. So they've won 5 straight now.
And you know what, Brett? The way you talked about the Dodgers, you didn't feel like they had it this year anyway.
No, I didn't.
The Milwaukee win for them might be a bigger win getting by because the Brewers were pretty hot throughout the entire season.
The Dodgers just lacked starting pitching all year, and that showed. I mean, in the first inning of the first 2 games, it showed.
Yes, it did. Yeah, especially Game 1.
Yeah, those 6 runs they scored in the first of Game 1, or it might have been 7.
Set the tone for the whole thing, didn't it?
And I think that that changed the Dodgers' approach. I think that's part of the reason Freeman and Betts went 1 for 21 or whatever it was.
Do you still like Dave?
No.
Help me with the last
Roberts.
name. Dave Roberts.
Hadn't liked him the last 10 years.
Ready for new blood to come in?
Yep.
Is it a possibility?
I would think so.
Do you?
Although I don't think this was his fault.
Yeah,
I put it more on management. They didn't acquire the only pitcher they acquired mid-season was Lance Lynn, and he's the one that gave up 4 home runs in Game 3, that's all he does is give up home runs.
It's kind of the same thing that the Red Sox are going through. They fired the pitching coach. Well, I mean,
now the Dodgers
lost.
Don't
have the talent to coach.
The Dodgers lost Urias.
Yeah.
A couple months ago due to the domestic violence.
That didn't help.
They thought they were going to get Buehler back in September, and he just wasn't ready yet.
Who was the pitcher that?
And then the one that has still set them back was Trevor Bauer, losing him unexpectedly.
What a pickup for! I always think about him. They remind me of each other for some reason. But the second baseman that the Phillies acquired and is Trey Turner.
Yeah.
He is. That's a huge pickup.
And he was a Dodger.
He was
last
a Dodger.
year, but he was set on returning to the East Coast all along. Yeah, the Dodgers knew they didn't really have a chance. The one that I hate they let get away was Seager. They just didn't offer him enough money.
Yep, they may be hating that right now too. because who's the American League MVP?
I don't know.
Has he got a shot?
I don't know what his number.
And has it already been voted on? Has it already been voted on because it's before the playoffs begin?
It should be.
Yeah.
Because although Mookie Betts isn't going to win, I don't think him going 0 for 11 should affect the MVP voting. But Ronald Acuna is going to win the National League MVP. I mean, he's had the best season anybody's had in a long time. I don't see how he could not win it.
Gene sends me a message, Brett. He's wanting you to have a little more respect here. Tell Brett he shouldn't raise his voice. You are old and don't listen too well. Can't argue that. Can't argue that. That's for sure. Lenny says Jordan Montgomery was traded for Harrison Bader. Now he became the Yankees' leadoff man, but is he still? Not right now. I know he's not. They're in the offseason.
Well, no, he got traded.
I thought he did
during the season this year.
Did he? During the season. Okay. Because the Yankees needed an outfielder. Now, he's already got here. He says he wasn't traded today. He said that. Well, he might have got traded. Lenny says he was designated for assignment. DFA is what that's called. Better than DOA.
Yeah, always better.
He's a Cincinnati Red right now. Harrison Bader.
Yeah, and Pac-Man used to have a term DFL, and this was I don't know which one's worse there. If you want to be DEA or DFA or DFL, but let's see the back to the schedule. Then we got to take our first time out. Houston taking on Texas not only Sunday at 8:15, but they'll get underway at 4:30 on Fox on Monday afternoon. Something for you to do when you get home on Monday afternoon. Then Arizona and Philly, they'll kick it off their first game on TBS. That's where that one's being covered, and it will be Monday night at 8:07. First pitch at 8:07. They'll follow that up with a Tuesday night solo game. The American League off on Tuesday. I like it that way because you get to see night games, and there's just one, and you don't have to worry about trying to watch two games.
Well, what was stupid in this last round was the Dodgers and Cardinals. I mean, Diamondbacks played on Saturday and then had Monday off in between game 1 and 2. I mean, what? Yeah. I know it's a TV thing, but that just seems stupid.
Yeah.
To give days off on non-travel days.
They still put the baseball game.
I mean, the Dodgers already had a week off. They didn't need to play one game and then have another day off.
But it wasn't like they tried to play around Monday Night Football. They were at the same time, right? The Monday night game
they
that
played,
was played in baseball?
They played Saturday and Monday.
Okay. Yeah, they didn't try to avoid that.
The Braves and Phillies did the same thing. They played Saturday.
And skipped today.
Skipped Sunday. Yes, played Monday.
You kind of got to give them both.
I didn't like that.
I don't know. You kind of give them both the same schedule.
And is it bad? Is it bad now to finish first or second and have a week off?
It looks like it.
Yeah, based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, the only team that survived was Houston.
I guess they
were the only team that had that time off and then won their series.
The biggest drawback is, what if you go ahead and play? You still might lose in that first round. I mean, everybody would say, well, they shouldn't even been there anyway. They should have been getting a bye. But, I don't care anything really about byes in any sport. NBA don't have a bye in the first round.
Nope.
NFL does, but don't need to. At least the NFL now has gone down to one. The team with the best record in each conference.
And then
get those byes.
Don Revel said the teams with the 4 best records in baseball combined to go 1-11.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That is just unbelievable.
Which the Tampa one didn't really surprise me.
I don't know if we'll ever see that again.
Tampa lost to Texas, and Texas was hot. Tampa had lost some players along the way.
I tell you
the Orioles also lost. 5 of those 11 losses were to Texas.
In April and May, the Rays looked like the team, sure team to beat. Then somewhere along the way, it became the Orioles in the American League, and the Braves were the dominant team in the National League.
Yeah,
and they're all.
I never thought the Orioles were the team to beat.
All watching TV.
They just had the best record.
Well, that may be.
I would have never picked them over Houston.
That really did show up.
Because Houston's got the experience.
A little bit surprised, but it did show up.
What
that
about
way.
Bruce Bochy, Mike's old manager, leading Texas
Yeah,
now?
man.
I know.
New life.
I know Houston's got a lot more playoff experience than the Texas roster does, but when you got Bruce Bochy, I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, with his playoff.
And then you got guys
resume.
like Scherzer and Corey Seager that have been there.
Well, I have to forward this stuff to you guys and let you read it on their own. But Rodney Willis sent me a book on Bruce Bochy the other night. I mean, he had about 5 minutes worth of reading there. But the guy is a class act, and is, I don't want to say he's the even better manager because he is a great person. But he has success no matter where he goes.
Yeah, he's really good.
Seems like he has a lot of success. Let's take the first time out. Appreciate you tuning in. Big night last night in high school football, and we made it past Friday the 13th as well. Back with more in a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Dr. John Cloninger III is celebrating 25 years of practice here in Lincoln. Dr. Cloninger's pedigree originates from his father, mother, and uncle and continues with his brother and cousin. The name is an icon in the field of dentistry. Dr. Cloninger has dedicated himself to his patients and community and continues to lead by example. He has heard his whole life, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He wants to sustain the family name and proceed by offering the best reasonable treatment possible. Dr. John Cloninger III, 904 Doncha Drive in Lincoln. Call 704-735-0765.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
How to please the whole crew on game day? How about a 40-piece chicken McNuggets from McDonald's? Epically crispy, so juicy, so tender, and all the dipping sauces. Right now, 40 chicken McNuggets made with all white meat are yours for only $10.99. Well, yours and whoever you're watching the game with. My advice, double down on your defense because 40 chicken McNuggets disappear surprisingly fast. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Century Drug in Boger City is the first pharmacy in the area to offer peace of mind for you, your caregivers, and for your family with a convenient poly pouch, strip pouch system, just like the one you've seen on TV. No more sorting through and keeping up with your multiple bottles of medication. No more filling daily reminder boxes. No more calling in meds and worrying about refills. You'll receive all your medications once a month in a box that dispenses a convenient, easy-to-open strip pouch that is perfectly labeled for breakfast, lunch, bedtime, etc. Century will be the link between you and your doctor to assure you that your medication profile is up to date and refillable. In other words, Century Drug will do all the work. You just take your medications and be healthy and happy. Call or come by for a visit today. 704-735-2551. Century Drug, East Main Street in Lincolnton.
Tim Johnson here from WLON. Folks, if you are looking to buy a new metal building, let me tell you the place to go. Unrivaled Metal Buildings in Lincolnton. With over 20 years' experience, they specialize in metal carports, garages, RV covers, storage sheds, and more. They service over 40 states. They offer bank financing and a credit-free rent-to-own program. All of their units are engineered certified to meet local wind and snow requirements. Commercial sizes are available as well. Address is 2541 East Main Street, Lincoln, or call 844-848-8676. Also, check their website out at unrivaledmetalbuildings.com.
And welcome back. Saturday morning. I don't know exactly right now. Landy's the last one to come in. Was it raining or not? Lightly, he says. Lightly. I think it's going to be gone. I don't think we're going to see the sun today. May not see the sun, but by lunchtime,
no sun today.
The rain should be clear. Well, I am not. I've been accused of being a weatherman. I can't remember who said a couple times, said you can even do the weather. I heard you doing the weather. But I just saw on TV if there's any sunshine, it might be just before dark. You know, but that's okay. Hey, the ground needs this water, Mike, and get it soaked in a little bit.
Well, just thinking about my grandchildren going to do the Renaissance Festival today.
Is that today? They're going to go today?
A couple of them are.
Yeah, and you have to schedule the day you're going now, don't you?
Schedule the day you're going.
How far in advance do you have, or is there?
Know.
Could you call right now and say, I want to switch mine to tomorrow? Or I don't know that either. Tomorrow may be full.
Take a rain check.
Take a rain check, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A rain check. What in the world is a rain check? You know, I used to get those though. We used to go to Braves games as a kid.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I know where I can get some more.
I used to get rain checks when we go to the Braves games as a kid. You know, they would give you that rain check. Oh, we're not coming back to Atlanta for when this is made up, but they don't know that. You know, and then I think at that time, what were tickets to get in the Braves game? $6, $5-6, back in the 70s, probably so. Lenny says top 5 winningest teams this year went 1-13, with the Braves having the only win of a game in that. And boy, it came down to the very
Milwaukee
end.
In there too.
The Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies series did have 2 great finishes. You know, I mean, there were 2 games that were just terrific finishes. What you want to see, especially when Harper, you know, thought that ball was going to get down and he ran all the way around. I think the other one wasn't the finish; it was actually in the 8th inning, wasn't it? You know what I'm thinking about? Bases loaded for the Braves. If that ball gets down in center field over the head of the outfielder that caught it there, it's going to be 4-3 Braves because all 3 of those guys on base are going to score because there were 2 outs.
Yeah, that was the final game, wasn't it? That was the 8th inning.
That kid, I can't remember his name, but he made that catch, and they said that he has not been the best defensive player this season for the Phillies by far, that he has had his struggles. But in that moment, with the wall approaching fast, or him approaching the wall pretty fast, he made the catch of the series, you know. And I'll give that
was actually 7th inning.
Was it?
Yeah.
Trey Turner some credit, too, because he made a couple plays on short hops, you know. Fair play baseball, the short hops right at you are the hardest balls there are, and he just snatches them up. And you know, instead of being happy to get one out, they're rolling double plays. You know, and that was how long have they had him?
Just this year.
Is it? Yeah, he is worth the money. I don't know what it is, but he's
sad for the Nationals. They had him and Harper.
Ain't that something?
At one time.
Yep.
And Scherzer.
Yep. And I love Bryce Harper's post-game comments about the fans and the city of Philadelphia. I thought that was true. I don't know if you guys heard him or not, but it was really good, and how much he loves being there and playing in that town, because he said it's hard work. The city's hard workers. It's blue-collar mentality, and the team takes on the same identity. Lenny also says the Braves, Dodgers, and Orioles had 100 wins or more, and the Rays had 99, and the Brewers 92. They got 1 playoff win out of that group. That is so odd. I said, I don't know if we'll ever see that again. Not that many teams with good records.
What was Arizona's regular season mark?
84 wins,
84
maybe.
wins.
Is that right, Brett?
That might be.
Barely
that might
over
be exactly
500.
right. Yeah, 84 and 78.
Yeah, 84. I thought they had 84 wins because I've been hearing about it. Lenny also says the Rays were a lot like the Dodgers. Their pitching staff was decimated by the playoffs. They had 3 starting pitchers out with Tommy John surgery. TJ surgery. I'm assuming that's Tommy John surgery, unless you guys can come up with something else. But that's I mean, baseball is a long season. And what we found out more than anything, I guess, guys, was the fact that it really it used to matter, I think, what your regular season record was, but
no,
at least not this year, and
No.
maybe not ever again. I mean, you know, you want to be, and like you guys said, is it bad news when you get a bye? Yeah. How many
Well,
games?
you
Gonna
think
be
you want
debated.
to avoid that 2 out of 3 series.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not one anymore.
Yeah.
One game.
Oh, I know.
But there were a lot of people complaining that, should these guys
But at least in a
not
2
play longer? Well, guess what? If it's 2-0, I can 1-1. I can understand you wanting to play 5. But if it's 2-0, I mean, if you're down 2-0, your likelihood of coming back and winning in 5 games are what? Slim, to say the least.
I guess the only bad thing about this 3-game format is you don't get a home game. They're all at the
Are they?
higher
Yeah.
seeds.
Well, finish higher than them.
Home stadium.
I guess is the way you look at it. But so who were the visitors that in that 2 out of 3? Who were any visitors
Well,
come?
Texas won at Tampa.
Yeah, and Arizona had to win
won at Milwaukee.
on the road. Yeah, so
The Phillies were at home and the Twins were at home.
so it was still 50-50.
Yeah.
No. Well,
Yeah,
the Twins
yeah.
won the first round. That's right. You like the black and white Twins uniforms?
yeah, I thought it was
I
pretty
did
cool.
too. Twin Cities. Did you see those, Mike?
Yeah, I did. I
Twin
thought
Cities
they were
across
okay.
the jersey and just black and white. I thought it looked really good. They need to wear that more. I think I like it better than their traditional uniform. How about starting college football with the number 89? 89. I'm going to start the college football morning with the number
Well,
89.
I know what that means.
Hmm?
Combined score in the
Yeah.
Stanford, Colorado
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. And how about if I give you the number 29?
29?
That was the amount that Stanford had to come back from.
Unbelievable.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Down 29-0.
I mean, when's the last time we talked about Stanford football?
Yeah,
It's
they've been down.
years.
They're bad.
They've been down.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you get down
only their second win.
on the road, right? This game was played in
Yeah.
Colorado. Had a 29-0 lead. And you guys tell me that was at the half? That they had that 29-0?
29-0 at half.
And somehow Stanford, this is a game I wish I had recorded. Maybe they'll show it again on one of the ESPN, one of their 48 channels.
Stanford, who their only win was over Hawaii. They even have a loss to Sacramento State this year.
And beat Colorado last night.
USC beat them 56-10. Oregon beat them 42-6.
Do me a
You
favor.
think they get down 29-0? They're just giving up, and
I don't know what clicked. I don't know
over.
what happened. I don't know.
well, I think it's Colorado's lack of defense. Is
the only thing I can blame it on is Friday the 13th.
Stanford had a receiver
Let's
go
for Friday the 13th.
294 yards and 3 touchdowns. One receiver.
29-0. Come back with interception. Come back. Stanford caps the 29. So I'm guessing the interception came on the last attempt for.
It was in the second overtime for Colorado.
And
They
for
had the ball first,
Okay.
and on third down they threw an interception, and then all Stanford had to do was kick a field goal to
Wow.
win it.
Wow.
You guys realize we had this week we had games, college games, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw one Tuesday that.
Mike went up on the hill. Saw the Mountaineers lose.
Any App fans out there that are starting to get a little uneasy with the direction of the Mountain
Mike,
football program?
The Mountain folk could not handle the beach bums.
Nope, that's right.
26-24.
I don't like
Good game.
Tuesday and Wednesday night college football.
No.
Now, I'm not watching any of those teams that played anyway, and that includes Appalachian State.
But okay, why do you not like it? I mean, I just want to know: is it inconvenient? Is it? What is there something else you do on that night?
No, I just don't like it for the
kids.
For the teams.
And it's always going to be.
I don't think you're going to get your best effort on a Tuesday or Wednesday night.
I will say this.
Might be right.
Attendance at App for that game Tuesday was listed at 34,000. So the vibe was there.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was there.
I watched some. I watched some of it on TV.
It's just not the same.
No, well, I'm not.
College football
crazy
should be
about
played
it
on
either.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with
What
you.
I was going to ask you, though, is when those two teams play on Tuesday, obviously they don't play the Saturday before.
No.
But will they have a scheduled game this Saturday?
No.
They don't?
No.
None of them?
Well,
No, I mean, I don't
know about that.
No. You're just thinking about App, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, App played on Saturday, September 30th.
Yeah, and then skip
Then
to Saturday.
Tuesday the 10th. And then their next game will be Saturday the 21st.
And I wonder if they do the other ones like that, because I don't know if I like that for my football team. I don't want to sit that long twice.
Same thing for Coastal.
Do you? I don't want to sit that long twice.
Well,
look what it did to baseball.
9 days off and then 10 days off.
Yeah, that's not.
So one game in a 20-day span.
And how is the money distributed for TV? Does whatever they pay to cover that game, does any of it go to the visitor, or does App just pay that visitor to be up there?
I don't know.
I mean,
all I know is that on that particular night, they had the Eyes of the Nation. That was the only major college game.
Now, Middle Tennessee played Tuesday night.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Middle Tennessee.
Yes, they did.
Played.
So did Liberty.
They played last Wednesday, then they played this past Tuesday, and now they play next Tuesday.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee won.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a coach, I want to
3 straight
that schedule, but
middle of the week games.
I guess it is help. In the long run, though, Brett,
it does get them some TV time.
It gets you TV exposure. It might get you a recruit or two.
I just think
and
I know one player that
it's just a different scene. I don't know. I don't think that. There's not as the tailgating.
I don't watch it because I don't think about it.
It's just a different experience.
The only reason I knew App was playing on Tuesday nights because Mike texted me a picture of the game going on. I said, "What? You got to be kidding here!" So I flipped over there and watched some of it. But I wouldn't if you would not have done that. I wouldn't. I would have just assumed it was a Saturday game.
Yeah.
But Lenny says a couple things here. I think he heard the Phils, Rangers, Astros had 90 wins and the Diamondbacks 84 for regular season. Yep, that is correct. I just saw that pop up on the screen this morning. And he said last night was the greatest comeback in Stanford history that he had heard. The greatest comeback. Well, I can't imagine that too many teams have overcome 29-point deficits to win football games at any level. At any level, but especially in major college football. Is that considered major college football last night, Stanford and
yeah, of course, Pac-12.
Oh, of course, Pac-12. Of course, Pac-12. Okay, let's put all.
How about Thursday night? We had a Big 12 game.
If I put 4 tiers up for Power 5 football teams, what tier would Stanford be on?
Well, they'd be on number 4.
They'd be on the 4th. That's why I'm saying, is that major college football? I don't know. Colorado would probably be on the. Colorado probably be on the 3rd or 4th.
Power 5, then you have to
I know. But it's not like Southern Cal playing Utah or Southern Cal playing UCLA or UCLA and Utah. I mean, I don't know who else who else is at the top right now of the Pac-12 standings.
Well, Oregon and Washington, they play today.
Yeah, they're the top 2. They play today, and that will be worth watching.
Well, you can't say they're the top 2 because Southern Cal is also undefeated.
Two of the top 3. 2 of the top 3. All 3 of them.
But Southern Cal is playing a game today. That's against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, Brett's team.
Yeah, see, I was already counting on you fixing that, Brett. That are your Trojans? Not your Trojans? Are your Irish going to take care of Jason's Trojans in that game?
Well, I have my doubts based on. I don't know how Notre Dame's favored in this game. That just shocks me.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
If I bet on games, I would go bet on Southern Cal.
The biggest reason
with 2.5 points.
I can tell you the reason. It's Southern Cal's defense.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, but Caleb Williams
been non-existent. Yeah, they're
overcomes
score a lot.
That defense.
Yeah, they're going to score a lot. And to me, if it gets in I'll say this carefully, shootout, that's the Southern Cal's favor.
I can't imagine this game being a shootout. Look what Notre Dame's offense has done lately.
They need to keep the ball 6 minutes and score.
Well, Notre Dame's problem is they haven't been running the ball the last 2 games.
Yeah,
they haven't been able to.
Makes no sense.
After their run game was dominant late last year and the first 4 games this year, they haven't been able to run it.
I have to ask Brett if Marcus, this guy's name,
Freeman.
Is there already a little warmth under his seat? What do you think? I know he's not going to get.
This is his first full year, right?
No,
second full year.
Second,
okay,
yeah.
I couldn't remember if he came in
last year.
8-4.
8-4. 9 and 4.
And he
At
did
Notre Dame,
coach the bowl game before that.
Yeah.
Is that right? And
yeah.
2 years ago, he
coached. That counts to his record, but I don't count that against him. Yeah.
9-4 at Notre Dame is, I don't know, ho hum. I mean, that's not what they shoot for.
Right.
So yeah, he's 14 and 6.
And
overall so far.
And they've lost what? What's their record this year?
5-2.
5-2.
But it's been a tough stretch. They played
Oh yeah.
Ohio State at home, at Duke, at Louisville. All three undefeated teams in all three primetime games.
One unforgivable thing is 2 plays with 10 men on the field, you lose to Ohio State at home. That was the game. That was their season.
Yeah, yeah. And you know they're going to run it there. I mean, you just know they're running the ball on that last play because the clock's going to expire either way. Mm-hmm. And they felt like they could do better pounding it in, and they could completing a pass. So I want to ask you, Brett.
Did you know they didn't have a turnover until last week?
Who did?
Notre Dame. And they had 5.
They had a bunch.
They had 5 at Louisville.
Sam Hartman was turnover city, 3 picks.
They need to get Kirk Cousins to show you how to turn the ball over. I want you to look something up for me real quick, Brett. I want you to look up Stanford's scores. And I want to know how many points Stanford had scored. Last week they scored 46 and a half.
Well, I told you some of them already.
They hadn't scored points like that this year. I mean, 46 in the second half if you count the 2 overtimes as the second half, and it is. It's all
yeah, well,
after
they scored
halftime.
10 in overtime, so 36 in the second half.
So we'll say 46 after halftime.
They scored 37 against Hawaii, and then 10.
Did they beat Hawaii?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's their other win.
Yeah. They lost 56-10, and they lost 30-23 to Sacramento State. They lost 21-20 to Arizona, and then 42-6 to Oregon.
Moderate numbers at best on offense. I think you said the 20s twice.
19 points a game.
19 a game, and last night 46 after halftime. I don't get it. I mean, and Colorado. We've seen Colorado play. Their defense isn't that bad. You know, we watched them play.
I don't know. It might be.
Brett's
but maybe they aren't who we thought they were.
There's a lot of teams you can say that about right now.
Colorado gives up 34.2 points a game, 250th in, I guess, Division I football.
Yep. And you know, it's
253rd in yards allowed per game.
It's an offensive world, though.
Yep.
In football.
Now the 33rd, or let's see.
Most time I wouldn't enjoy games last night, but if you see a comeback like that and then it goes to double overtime, it don't get much better.
No.
As far as a fan just watching a football game, it don't. Get
Colorado
much better.
scores 33 a game and gives up 34.
Ooh.
Hence the losing record. Aren't they? What are they? 3-4?
No, they're 4-3.
4-3. Okay, 4-3. Real quickly, Middle Tennessee State beat Louisiana Tech 31-23 on Tuesday. We already told you about App losing to Coastal Carolina 27-24. Liberty defeated Jacksonville State also 31-13 on that same night. On Wednesday, it was UTEP over Florida International 27-14. New Mexico State over Sam Houston. I just went with the initials. I didn't look at the logo. Sam Houston State University. That wouldn't be Jose anyway. Jose starts with a J.
Yeah.
Straighten me out there.
SHS. That's Shelby High School.
Shelby High School is who they played in that one. No, because they won. Couldn't be. New Mexico State, the winner, 27-13. On Thursday night, matchups got a little better. Houston defeats West Virginia 41-39. Did y'all see the ending of that game?
I didn't.
A long play for West Virginia to take the lead. Long play. Guy had called it, I think it's pass play, and then he ran with it about 60 or 70 yards. And West Virginia took the lead. You want to know how much time was left when they took the lead?
How much?
14 seconds. 14 seconds. Houston gets the ball to midfield, throws the Hail Mary. It is batted around. Touchdown. Those last 25 seconds of that game
were eventful.
And how many people might have left and didn't see it? You know, that was as strange ending as I've seen in some time. Then on Friday night, Tulane beat Memphis 31-21. Fresno over Utah State 37-32. And then the one we've been talking about, Stanford, comes roaring from a 29-point deficit, beats Colorado 46-43 in 2 overtimes. Georgia will be challenged today by Vanderbilt. True or false?
Big time false.
Georgia looked like the Georgia we expected last Saturday, and I think it's the first time that they've looked like that. And did you guys hear this? The little bit of controversy, not much to me, but with Mark Stoops and his comments after the game. If you listen to the whole interview, he is really, really honestly bragging on Georgia and their players and getting the right people in there with their NIL money. But the only thing that got aired was Georgia bought some pretty good players. So that makes you think he's saying it as a negative.
Yeah.
When Dan Patrick played the whole interview and he was just commending them. I mean, just, what a job they had done with their recruits, that they are paying the right. And most people don't realize it, but I think the players that Georgia is getting that sets them apart from the rest of the field right now are on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Your offensive and defensive line, they just seem to be getting the best of those every single year.
Either way, in case
right
anybody's interested, for West Virginia, Ben Cutter, 17 total tackles
so far on the season.
On the year.
Yeah, did he come out of the game injured the other night, or did he go in for an injured player? I saw his name listed, and it had something to do with the injury. And the kid at Virginia that's from East Lincoln, Keandre Walker, has had some playing time as well. He's number 2 at cornerback. He don't start, but he's the first one in to give the guy a break. So he's getting playing time as well. I think Cutter was forced into action this week because the starting linebacker in his position was injured, and Cutter started that game.
Yeah.
I think that's the way I read that.
Yeah, 6 solos, 11 assists, 17 total.
Yeah, still a good place to watch a game, even in person or on TV, is Morgantown.
Yeah, good setting.
West Virginia. And I'm not even sure where that one was. Was it in Morgantown, or was it?
It was in Take Me Back to Houston.
Okay. Michigan, number 2 in the country, will be at home, as we already told you, Georgia on the road at Vandy. Michigan's at home to take on Indiana. They're building this thing up, and it's because it's on national television. And get real. Do not build this game up. Michigan should win by 35.
Yep.
Ohio State at Purdue at 12 noon, number 3 Buckeyes. Number 4 Florida State's at home to take on Syracuse. Number 11 Alabama at home to take on Arkansas. You got Michigan State going to Rutgers, Iowa State at Cincinnati. I'm just going to hit on some of the highlights here. Georgia Southern at James Madison. Is that I don't know. Sounds like a good matchup. I don't really know the records of either team.
That's a Sun Belt game, correct?
I think it is. Charlotte is at home to take on the Naval Academy. How about Navy rolling into Charlotte today?
Yeah.
Georgia Southern's 4-1. James Madison's 5-0.
There you go. That should be good.
And by the way, App still has to play James Madison and Georgia Southern.
And James Madison has a win over Virginia.
Both
and
undefeated
Marshall.
in the conference. Georgia Southern's loss was to Wisconsin.
Right now, the win over Marshall is more credible than the win over Virginia, is it not?
Yeah.
Virginia's really
Yeah, they're
struggling.
bad.
Let's see. California goes to Utah. Toledo at David Letterman U. You guys know what David Letterman U is? Ball State. 8 Oregon at 7 Washington. All eyes should be on that. Can one of these two teams make the playoffs? Can one of these two teams, and you got Southern Cal to deal with too in there. So can one of these two teams make
Washington is first in the nation in yards per game.
And
Oregon second.
Yeah. Oregon, you understand.
Top 2 in the country in yards per game.
So I'm
they're second and third in points per game.
I'm looking for a 7-6 game. I'm gonna set the over under at 13. Which way you going?
Touchdowns.
Yeah, I started thinking about that the other night. How about all the people when West Virginia took the lead thought they had won their bet that night?
Yeah.
And then 14 seconds later, the game swings and goes the other way. Oregon and Washington, ABC today.
3:30.
I like both of those teams, and I want to see that game. Texas A&M at Tennessee. Kansas goes to Oklahoma State. Mike's favorite team, the Fighting Illini, the Fighting Dick Butkuses, go to Maryland today to take on the Terps. I thought the Terps might play the Buckeyes. That game stayed close for a half.
Play them pretty good.
For a half, but then Ohio State pulled away pretty good in the second half. Florida at South Carolina, Wake at Virginia Tech, Wake Forest at Virginia Tech there. BYU at TCU, battle of the initials in that one. Miami of Ohio at Western Michigan. Here's your team, Mike. Central Michigan at home to take on
Chippewas.
Akron. And what is a zip?
Akron.
Yeah.
Oh, what is a zip?
What is a zip? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
What's a Hoya?
We know what a Chippewa
Yeah.
is, but I've yet to figure out what
Well,
a
what's
zip.
a Hoya?
No idea. Georgetown's mascot. If you're going to give me the answer is Akron's mascot, I'm just going to tell you that's Georgetown's.
Well, their mascot is Zippy the kangaroo, but I don't know if that
It's got to be something to do with Akron. Is it not the tire capital of the
it comes
Laurel?
from zippers. Rubber.
Yeah, but we're trying to figure out what that means.
Rubber overshoes made by the B.F. Goodrich Company of Akron.
So you put on your zips to go out in the weather,
Yep.
right?
Which there is a lot of bad weather.
There is a lot of bad weather in Akron, I'm sure. Probably a lot of bad days.
Yeah, wouldn't want to be there.
Louisville goes to Pittsburgh today. How about undefeated Louisville, right? 6-0, aren't they on the season?
Yeah, Jeff Fromm. Wow, getting it done.
Yep.
Yeah, and Pitt's not having a good year.
No, I was going to say,
1-4.
I think they beat Pitt at least 2 touchdowns today. Auburn at LSU. LSU still ranked, hanging on to their ranking at number 22. You look at LSU's schedule, they play somebody good every week. Every single week they're up against either one of the better SEC teams or who was it they played to start the season? They play Florida State again?
Yeah.
To start, and they actually led that game at halftime, but got smoked in the second half. K-State goes to Texas Tech. It's Marshall at Georgia State, Wyoming at Air Force, Southern Cal Notre Dame. Brett's eyes will be glued to the tube at 7:30 tonight, as will Jason's. They'll be watching that game. Number 25 Miami at North Carolina. Can Miami recover from the way they lost last week?
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
that's tough.
If you were a head coach, and don't think about what happened, but if you were a head coach, would you let the kid with 99 yards try to get a 100-yard game? And that's what they were doing.
No.
That's what they were doing. No, you wouldn't now, but I think I probably would.
No, I wouldn't. You just take a knee.
Yeah, you take a nap.
I didn't even realize that
I don't
was,
think you
that
should.
was part of it.
Yeah,
I never
that's
even
what I
heard
heard,
that part.
that
but-
What does
That's-
that mean?
that's what he-
99 or 100?
Yeah, 100.
now, if he was going for some all-time
maybe it'd be his first
career record or something, then maybe. But
Well, I can tell you this: he'll never do it again. Cristobal will never do it again. He will never make that mistake again. He let the kid try to get 100 yards. Guess what? He wound up the 103.
yeah, he got it.
Only thing he forgot was the football.
But even then,
laid it
I mean,
on
their
the ground.
defense just totally
It
collapsed.
did. Yeah, they should have never scored from that distance. Who was that against? Miami and why can't I remember?
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Yeah. Yeah, they are pretty bad. Number 24, Kentucky. I expect them to bounce back, but it is a pretty good Missouri team. I think Missouri's really good offensively.
I thought they had
Drinkwitz
LSU on the
Coach of the
ropes
Year.
last week, but they just
They
kinda,
did.
They just kind of choked.
They
in the
had 2
fourth
touchdown
quarter.
leads a couple times
Yeah.
in that game. But LSU's one of those teams you don't want to get in that shootout with
No.
because they put up points in a hurry. Their quarterback's pretty good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Oregon State at home to take on UCLA. That's a battle of 2 ranked teams tonight, 8 o'clock on Fox. UAB at Texas San Antonio. Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State at Hawaii. Are you guys – I know Brett, his top game of the day is Southern Cal and Notre Dame, and it has to be.
Well, that Oregon and Washington.
That Oregon
game
Washington is
Well, I'm kind of looking
One
at
I wanna
NC
see.
State at Duke.
must watch TV. Yeah, I skipped that one.
Duke's,
I don't remember seeing
without
it.
their quarterback.
Stayed at Duke. Yeah, it's
Riley
gonna be
Leonard.
might be a tough couple weeks for Duke
Yeah.
without the quarterback that was leading them to win.
And then they got to go to Florida State
Ooh.
next week.
Oh,
Ouch.
yeah, wrong time to have the quarterback. Maybe he'll be
Yeah.
back, but it's if he is back, he won't be 100%. So we'll look at it that way. And they're probably with him, they probably don't beat Florida State anyway. It's time to take a timeout. We come back with high school football. A lot of scores from around the area to discuss from last night here in just a moment.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry is not just a name, it's the way you're treated the minute you walk in. A full-service dental practice with over 20 years experience and lifelong resident of Catawba and Lincoln County. His commitment and caring run deep in the community. Located at the intersection of Highway 150 and Business 16 in Denver, he's convenient to where you are. Open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, so look no further for your dentist than Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry. Call 704-489-9919 for your appointment or more information. Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry.
Sooner or later, everyone wants to make their home dreams a reality. I'm sure you've seen the television shows and flipped through magazines and you know what you want. Or then again, maybe you're not sure. You know that you want something different and something better. Get started today by contacting the building professionals at Key Builders in Lincoln. Visit the website at keybuildersnc.com and check out their many floor plans. There's one there for you and your family. Key Builders, locally owned and operated at 1459 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Hi folks, this is Will Poteet, president and co-owner of RE/MAX Crossroads. The real estate market is ever changing, but it's not too late to sell your home for a great price. If you're thinking about selling your home, give us a call at 704-736-1717 to speak with one of our expert agents. We would love the opportunity to earn your business.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. Speaking of baseball, bases are loaded and Casey's at bat. Mike, you awake?
I'm awake.
That's
Bases
your lyrics.
are loaded and
Casey's at bat. That's your lyrics for today.
this
Whoa!
is
Don't
trivia.
blurt it out if you know it. I know Brett knows it. Don't you,
Bases
Brett?
are loaded in Casey's at bat.
Yep. It's all about baseball as we approach the World Series. Tell me who it is. Tell me who it is. Bases are loaded.
John
Casey's at bat.
Fogerty, center field.
Nope.
Meatloaf.
Nope.
No,
What is that one that does baseball in it?
Paradise.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Yeah. I know somebody's going to get this. I mean, I cannot believe you. You guys let me down so hard here. I bet Lanny knows. Bases are loaded in case he's at bat.
You want to know song?
I don't want you to look it up.
No.
Yeah.
Center field.
No.
Yeah.
I got a good one. Nobody knows it.
Hey, bases
are loaded in case he's at bat. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mighty Casey struck out, though.
For some apparent reason, Mario Cristobal does not like to take a knee. This is what Jason says. Miami has not kneeled the ball at any time this season. They might put that into their portfolio. That might be part of the
who was that at South Point that one year said we hadn't practiced taking a knee?
Was
that John Devine?
No, it was
Mickey Lineberger.
Mickey Lineberger. Mickey, we hadn't practiced. That was a quote in the paper that I recall. Gene says the Colorado defense is terrible. The offense has to hold the ball or they get killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fair statement.
That's about the truth. Let's see. I guess the football gods. This is Lenny again. A lot of messages coming. I guess the football gods paid back Miami. How many remember the play at Duke 3 or 4 years ago when they were throwing the ball around on the last play of the game and Miami scored a touchdown to win? The replay showed several violations on that play, but it's too late. It was already over. Rodney's got my artist this morning. Way to go, Rodney Willis. Not that hard, is it?
Is it a group or a solo artist?
Yes. They fall in that category. I like those categories.
It's both, right?
Yep. But as an individual, he goes by his name, and as a group, he goes by the group. He's with the group name too, and it's Bases,
what era?
Bases are loaded. I only give classic rock, or I tell you.
Okay.
I only give classic rock, or I tell you.
2000s.
And this
Sammy Hagar
particular guy is one of my favorite people.
Oh, Sammy Hagar.
To see on TV.
Van Halen.
No. Let's see.
I
got another one here. Lenny's got it.
Lenny's got it. To see on TV.
Lenny's got it. Is he on TV? Occasionally.
Who's your favorite guy to see on TV?
Axis? I've never. Okay, here's your big hint. I've never seen him in person, but he has been on Sammy Hagar's. You remember when Sammy used to do that hour-long show? What was the name of that thing?
On the road.
He was on that.
Yeah.
He was on that.
He was on Axis.
Yep. Yeah. And I can't remember what the name of it was, but he did, hour-long ride-alongs or talk. He would interview the rock star themselves. One of my favorites. I thought that fell into place really good there.
George
I was thinking of something.
I'm just grasping it.
You are grasping.
I have no idea.
In my opinion, way more popular
than
the George Thorogood. Way more popular. Even today.
Even today.
That ought to help a lot.
What the heck?
Yep.
Even
Did
today?
you guys, I mentioned this to Mike, I mentioned it to Lanny. We all talked about going to see a concert in the upcoming weeks that's featured Steely Dan. Isn't that thing in November, Brett?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen though.
No, he's in the hospital.
Yeah,
Donald Fagen.
He's in the hospital, and it's Steve Miller Band's filling the spot right now, which I would still love to see.
Yeah,
but have my heart set on Fagen.
I just don't know
current Steely Dan
without the other
half
guy. Yeah, I mean
Walter Becker.
Basically a two-man.
Basically
a one-man deal
duo,
anyway.
And one of them's.
And they always had just
gone.
different musicians. You know why they always had different musicians? Because nobody could please them.
Right.
Nobody could, and the guys that didn't want to deal with their perfection. They just couldn't handle the pressure anymore of getting everything right. So yeah. You want me to give you another lyric by this same guy?
Yes.
My Maserati does 185.
Joe Walsh.
There you go. Yeah. Bases are loaded, Casey's at bat. Rocky Mountain Way.
Rocky Mountain Way, okay.
Yep,
I love the
remember
song,
that, Lanny?
I just don't remember that lyric.
Yep, that was a good one because it fell into our
baseball thing.
Yeah, our baseball theme entering the World Series here.
What's the best pop song ever done with baseball as a theme?
We discuss this every week, don't we?
Yeah.
There's not one.
There's not one.
Because
center field.
There'd be differences of opinion, though, right? Cheap Seats is played a lot by Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Center field's probably my favorite one, if I had to choose one. Would you consider Sweet Caroline a baseball? So
that was on my mind because
it's not really, because it don't even mention baseball in it.
Baseball as a theme. It's just
Sweet Caroline's become the most often played song at sporting events. They played it at the Rock. Tuesday night.
Wonder if the Phillies or the Rangers or some of those teams have something that they play.
How did a pop song put out by Neil Diamond in the 1960s?
What's the hook that makes it popular?
The chorus.
Fans sing along.
Yeah,
but when they do Sweet Caroline,
ba, ba, ba.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's obvious.
That is the hook for that song.
Joe Walsh was on Drew Carey's show lots of times. Well, you know the connection there, don't you? Both from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Both born and raised in Cleveland. So I could see that. Drew Carey was really good. That show was fun.
Here's a trivia. Do you know the home state of Glenn Fry of the Eagles?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you the first thing popped in my mind.
He's not a native Californian. I'll give you that clue.
Arizona popped in my mind because he's been standing on a corner down there for a long time.
Isn't he Michigan? Is it Detroit?
You're close.
I thought he was from Detroit.
You're close.
Wisconsin.
Nope.
Minnesota.
The Fighting Illini. Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that
was a good hint.
They're from all over the place.
Southern California.
Don Henley's from Texas, isn't he?
I don't know where they're from. I really don't.
I don't know if any of them are from California.
I thought they were all from Hotel California.
Yeah, now they come in and they're Southern California
on their way
rockers,
to
and none of them are from Hotel California.
And Walsh, who wasn't originally with the group, I don't think, was he? But he came from Cleveland, and don't know about Timothy B. Schmidt or.
Don Henley's from Gilmer, Texas.
Gilmer, Texas.
Jackson Brown is from California.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played with them for quite a while as well. Hickory wins last night over West Iredell. They remain undefeated. Beat a pretty good West Iredell team, 51-27 last night. J.M. Robinson over South Rowan, 65-0. Statesville and North Iredell. It says missing score, but that's not right, Mike. Don't we remember Statesville scored 60? I remember Statesville had 60 in that game, but I don't remember. It seemed like it might have been 60-14 over North Iredell. It's probably on here again. Chapel Hill beat North Durham 42-20. A.L. Brown 28, South Iredell 14. Mooresville over West Cabarrus last night 42-3. I do believe the Blue Devils of Mooresville are still unbeaten on the season. And if they both win this week, Lake Norman and Mooresville will meet in the 11th week, Game 10.
You know who I'll be pulling for.
I do know. You'll be pulling for Lake Norman.
Yeah, I got a granddaughter.
Are they the Wildcats?
The Wildcats.
Wildcats, and Mooresville is the Blue Devils.
She's a sophomore there.
2 weeks away? That'd be a good one. No, should be a good one anyway, but you never know. Let's see other scores. Havelock defeated South Central 40-12. West Brunswick, North Brunswick 51-13 over West Brunswick. North over West. That's got confusing for me. North Brunswick over West. You know why I paused right there for a moment? Got home yesterday. My wife was watching a movie. I don't know if it was a Friday the 13th movie or what it was, but it was a horror movie.
It would have been appropriate.
Yeah, it would have. But it was a horror movie, and it was filmed in Leland, North Carolina. You know where that is? Leland, North Carolina.
Just southwest of Edenton.
Near Wilmington.
It's Brunswick County.
Brunswick County.
And in the movie was the North Brunswick Band.
All right.
I saw them. The North Brunswick Band was in the movie. I didn't see but 3 to 5 minutes of it, and that's the part that I saw. And I looked it
What
up
was
just
the
to see, and
scene?
sure enough,
What
I
was
don't
the
know.
scene in which the North Brunswick band was in the movie?
They're all screaming and running from something.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know exactly what it was. I didn't pay that close of attention. Butler beats Charlotte Catholic last night. Battle of heavyweights, 24-21.
That
Shelby
was Catholic's homecoming.
Yeah, Charlotte Catholic's got 3 losses this year, I think, but they're all quality losses to really good teams. But they do have to play in the 4A, and they're going to have to face those kind of teams when it comes playoff time as well. Shelby over Bessemer City, 64-0. Reagan defeated Parkland last night, 28-27. I don't know what happened in this one, but it was on the news this morning, the rules about allowing fans in last night at the Harding West Charlotte game, and I don't know exactly what it was. I didn't catch the details, but West Charlotte. Have you seen that score? Have you guys seen the score of West Charlotte and Harding? 72-7. West Charlotte's kind of ill that they lost last week to Huff. You better watch out for West Charlotte come 3A playoff time. And, whether you're Crest or you're Northwest Cabarrus or you're Hickory, all these teams that are still undefeated, that West Charlotte is going to be a force.
Here's a note about North Brunswick. Marty Holbrook chiming in. Chucky Brown played basketball. Former NC State star.
Played at North Brunswick. If I had to guess, I would have guessed he played at Kinston.
Oh, yeah, I know. You go ahead and figure
since they put out so many guys.
Oh,
but North Brunswick, how about that?
Yeah, I think that's right. Coached by Jim Valvano.
At North Brunswick?
No, at NC State.
Hertford County beat Camden County 41-0. Monroe rolls over Anson last night. I think a lot of people have Monroe penciled in already as the 2A state champion. Yeah. We will see. I do think
wouldn't go that far.
I do think they're better than Reidsville. Their schedule has been a little more challenging than Reidsville's, and they still are rolling through it. West Rowan over Central Cabarrus, 37-26. McDowell loses to Asheville last night. Asheville the winner, 57-16. Julius Chambers over North Meck, 49-0. TC Roberson over Irwin, 27-7. It was North Buncombe Inco defeating North Buncombe 28-20 last night. Nash Central and Bunn no score. Northeastern over Manio 67-0. All road trips are long for Manio, are they not?
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's anybody very close by for them to play. Mallard Creek and Huff. Did you guys see how this one come out? Huff just beat West Charlotte last week. This week they beat Mallard Creek 30-6. That was number 8 against number 12 in the state. 30-6. Huff rolls in that game last night. Piedmont and Forest Hills. It was Forest Hills the winner, 45-0.
Well, you forgot Marvin Ridge and Palisades Park.
No, I didn't.
You did?
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
You like the name Palisades?
I like the name Palisades Park because that was a song.
Who is from Pacific Palisades?
Oh.
One of your Dukies was from Pacific Palisades, Florida. And I know it's one of two.
That's in Florida?
I mean California. I'm sorry. I meant California. Pacific Palisades, California.
I've stayed in.
Yeah, especially if it's called Pacific.
I've stayed in Pacific Palisades before.
Have you?
Yeah.
It was either Allery or Billis.
Mark Allery.
One of them two is
Billis was from Arizona.
Okay.
That's
I knew one of those two was, and I would have guessed Allery.
I was thinking Mark Allery.
It's just right up the hill from Santa Monica.
Where they have a freeway. Forest Hills, I think I've already done that one, 45-0 over Piedmont. Lost my spot here momentarily. Wilmington Hoggard defeats Topsail last night, 45-0. Independence over East Meck, 62-0. Cuthbertson falls to Porter Ridge. Porter Ridge 31-0 in that game. Here's your favorite, Mike. Beargrass Charter gets a win over Mount Zion, 42-6.
Go Beargrass.
East Forsyth 52. R.J. Reynolds 0. East Duplin, defending 2A state champs, beats South Lenore 54-0. Look up East Duplin stats, Brett. I'd be interested to know their points for and points against. I think they're undefeated, and I think it's a wide margin, a very wide margin, probably one of the widest in the state, something like Mount Airy's numbers.
360-66.
360-66. That's pretty impressive. as we are now through what?
But everybody's
8 weeks, 8 games.
Everybody's saying Clinton is going to come out
Clinton,
of the
yeah, a
East.
lot of people are high on Clinton right now. Everybody said the Braves would be in there too.
East Duplин's got Wallace Rose Hill next week.
Northwest Cabarrus remains undefeated. They beat the Spiders of Concord last night, 43-7. Princeton over Spring Creek, 56-8. Lake Norman, Cox Mill, Mike. They don't show a score there on that one. Did you hear anything?
I haven't heard, but I got to find out.
Charlotte Christian falls to Providence Day. Providence Day's got the Michigan commit at quarterback. Is that the right?
Yeah.
I got the right school. Do you remember his name? Headed to play at Michigan. They win 47-13 over a good Charlotte Christian team. Roseville over Knightdale, 67-0. It was good Knightdale at the by halftime. 49-0 is Myers Park over Olympic. That's a pretty impressive win. The Olympic, I mean, just by the margin. I thought Myers Park would win, but that's by quite a bit. South Brunswick falls to Ashley, 41-14. Sun Valley falls to Weddington. Weddington 42-3 over Sun Valley. Dudley beats Rockingham County 49-7. Wallace Rose Hill over Kinston 62-18. West Forsyth, high scoring game, beats Davie County 50-42 last night. Hopton and Lakewood. Hopton a winner 46-38 in that one. Watauga over High Brighton 41-21. East Rutherford, this one went back and forth all night. Every time I checked, Mike, the other team was leading. East Rutherford winds up on top, defeating RS Central 42-37.
What's that, 4 or 5 wins now for
I think
East
so.
Rutherford?
Starting to get their program back after that 1 year without varsity football.
Right.
North Stanley 42-12 last night over South Stanley. North Stokes falls to South Stokes 28-21. North Lincoln rolls over Fred T. Ford. I think in all their conference win, Mike, they've scored at least 50.
That's right.
For North Lincoln. 50-14 last night over Fred T. Ford. T.W. Andrews over North Forsyth 35-28. East Davidson beats South Davidson 52-0. No score on Richmond County and Lee County. I'd like to see if Richmond could get another win last night or not. Pinecrest beats Scotland 27-17. Northwest Guilford 31, Ragsdale nothing. Albemarle 26, Mount Pleasant 21. Mike, do you know the Cherville score? I know they won in overtime.
I do not know the final.
Yeah,
I
they
just
did win in
heard they
overtime.
won in overtime.
They beat Thomas Jefferson last night in overtime. And I don't know what I saw that on, but I do remember seeing that. But it does not have the score
I finally saw it on
listed.
Facebook, but it didn't give the score.
Yeah, same thing with
it
this
gave
right
the
here.
winning play.
Yeah, showed the winning play. And was it a 2-point conversion that won it, or was it a touchdown without the other team? Was it overtime?
It was overtime.
Yeah, I thought so.
If anybody knows the score, please
please let us know the answer to that. We'd love to know the score. Fuquay defeated Garner last night 13-0. Lincoln over East Burke last night 42-14. We witnessed that one. We'll talk about it here in just a minute. Drone over Rosman 56-12. East Surrey over North Wilkes by a score of 58-7. Allegheny edges out Elkin 24-21. You know Elkin's nickname?
Bucking Elks.
The Bucking Elks. That's one of the best in the state of North Carolina.
Mike Don Revel says you had those two guys backwards from Duke. It was Billis from California.
Okay.
Allery from
Arizona.
My mistake.
Yeah. I would have guessed the same way you did. I don't know why, but I would have guessed the same.
By the way, Marty Holbrook has the score.
Okay.
Cherryville 22, Thomas Jefferson 21. So it was a 2-point conversion.
I guess I don't know if it was overtime or not, but they went for 2 to win the game.
They went for 2 to win the game.
Well, it had to be either overtime or the end of regulation because they celebrated, didn't they?
Yeah.
It looked like they celebrated on the field.
14 all at one point.
Yeah.
Good to see
Marty.
And Rosman, same conference.
Yes. Wow. Isn't that weird? That's a ride. Drone and Rosman are in the same conference.
Wow.
I'll look at conference up in a minute and tell you who else in that direction.
That's what Hyla was in.
Yeah, that's I think it's an all 1A, if I'm not mistaken. I think every team in that thing is 1A. Chase over Polk County last night, 70-26. Cape Fear wins over Jack Britt, 35-29.
Max Katie is smiling.
The entire Cape Fear should be ashamed, Mike, beating up on old Jack Britt like they did last night.
I know, the whole team beating up on one guy.
Randleman defeats Southwest Randolph 24-0. Lexington falls to Salisbury. Salisbury again putting up big numbers, 44-13 last night in that win over Lexington. Those two schools aren't too far apart. 71st beat Purnell Sweat 48-0. A couple blanks there. Smoky Mountain over Franklin. You were asking about that one, Mike.
That's another one of my new favorite adopted teams.
Smoky Mountain wins
out of
21-19. 21-19.
Right there in Silva.
Madison over Avery County 40-21. Cherokee falls to Hayesville 17-0. Starmount over East Wilkes 35-6. Robbinsville over Andrews 19-0. North Davidson beats Asheboro 42-21. Brevard shuts out Patton 48-0 last night. Page over Northern Guilford 25-21. McMichael defeats West Stokes 31-24. Pisgah on big money night in the mountains last night, the big giveaway last night at the half and half, usually up in the $30,000 range. Tuscola beats Pisgah 27-10. What county are they in? Somebody tell me that. I can't remember which county are that. That's the only two schools in the county. It's not Buncombe because that's where all the Asheville ones are. It might be Jackson. It might be Haywood. Could be.
Let's say who are the two teams again?
Pisgah and Tuscola.
It's not Jackson because Smoky Mountain's the only high school in Jackson.
That's right. Smoky Mountain's on over there in that one.
So you said Buncombe. It wouldn't be Buncombe.
No, it wouldn't be Buncombe because that's all the Asheville schools.
What else is up there? Haywood.
It's Haywood.
Is it Haywood?
Haywood.
Okay. Haywood County. Alexander
Tuscola's
Central.
in Haywood. Are they both?
Yeah, I think it's the only two schools, and that's why they elect to do that like they do. Just two high schools.
Can you name the
county.
only two high schools in Yadkin County?
Yadkin County. Starmount.
That's one of them. What's the other one?
Forbush.
That's it.
Woo!
God, you got it.
Get that.
Another trivia.
Oak Grove beat Ladford 41-7. And I didn't know Forbush was in the county, but I knew it was pretty close. I've been to both schools.
Yeah.
And I knew it was pretty close.
Didn't we go to Forbush to cover West Lincoln Forbush and
baseball? We did.
Yeah.
We did many moons ago. West Lincoln rolled over West Caldwell on homecoming night, 54-14. East Lincoln likewise rolled over St. Stephen's on homecoming night, 55-13.
That was the score we couldn't find.
And the score of the night, Mike, we heard during the week, and didn't do the research, but we heard that Bunker Hill had not beat Maiden since Hurricane Hugo came through.
Yeah.
And that's been a long time, 1989, if that's the case. They didn't play every year. No. But they did play more often than they did.
You would think so, given their proximity.
49-9 last night. This game was 14-9, and all of a sudden, 35 unanswered by Bunker Hill to close it out. And they have now, Mike, solidified themselves as the best team.
No question.
Yeah, no question. The
we
best
knew
team
it all along
in the CVAC after that win last night, 49-9 over Maiden.
There's a game I want to ask you about. I don't know whether you've given the score. Burns and East Gaston. Was there a funky?
It was close.
Was there a funky ending to
14-point game? It couldn't have been too funky. It wound up 14. Unless East Gaston was about to score.
No, it was
the other team scored.
Fight.
There was a fight. The game was not completed.
20-something seconds left, or just seconds remaining.
Well, not amongst teams, I hope.
Yeah, it was on the field. I don't think it got bad.
No.
Yeah.
I just heard that they ended it a little bit early.
I don't even know if it was a.
Did anybody leave the bench?
I don't know. I don't even know if it was a fight or if it was just a couple players pushing and shoving and.
Hey, let's get. I mean, hats off to East Gaston. I mean,
they went in there and played with them. They went in there and played with them. They played with Burns. They really did. I just hope neither team misses the playoffs. Do you really?
I think I read.
I just hope neither team misses the playoffs because of the fight.
I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, we would hate to see that.
Couple comments before we take our last time out and then come back for the final segment of the show. Lenny says it was Billis, I think, because Mark Allery was from Arizona. Also, we got one from Ned that says 2-point conversion in overtime was for the Cherryville win.
Wow.
Gene Schruntz says Haywood County as well is where Pisgah and Tuscola are. I've actually been to both of those football stadiums too, but I have not been to Tuscola to a game. I have been to Pisgah to a game. Great atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. And then I've got another Good Morning Sports Talk, guys. This one from Joseph Breimer. So,
Joseph Breimer.
Good morning to you as well, Joey Breimer. Glad to have you
with us.
He
was down at East Lincoln.
Down at East Lincoln last night. Time for us to take a break. We'll come back and discuss a few of these games and any other topics you guys might have here on Sports Talk.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Al Lane Motorsports is now Power Max Motorsports. Yes, the name has changed, but the great products you've come to know and trust are still there. The new Power Max Motorsports will continue to carry the full line of Can-Ams and Toro mowers, and they will feature a full service and parts department. Drop by and meet the new folks today. They want to get to know you and your needs. The new Power Max Motorsports, Highway 27 East at the Highway 73 intersection in Lincoln. Drop by and see them today. Full Throttle Power Sports and Law is proud to announce the addition of Brian Lane to their sales staff. And Brian wants to take this time to invite his friends and former customers of Al Lane Motorsports in Lincoln to come see him at Full Throttle Power Sports and Law, featuring brand names like CF Moto, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Polaris, and more. See Brian Lane at Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk of I-85 in Law, online at ncfullthrottle.com.
For where two or three have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. Matthew 18:20. You are invited to gather with us at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school meets at 10, and worship follows at 11 every Sunday. Follow us on Facebook for special service announcements. Join us Sunday at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church.
Triad Corrugated Metal in Lincoln is this area's headquarters for premium metal roofing and supplies. And now just arrived, square tubing for metal carports and metal buildings. Give them a call at 980-429-2278 for pricing and sizes. And they have a wide variety of colors. Visit the website at triadcorrugatedmetal.com. And like them on Facebook too, Triad Corrugated Metal, 108 Industrial Park Road in Lincoln.
Buying a Bobcat is now easier than ever at West End Sales in Vail. Now get 0% APR financing. That means low monthly payments. Or you can get $1,200 instant rebates on selected models. Now is the time to buy. Like we said, it's easier than ever. Again, get 0% APR financing or get $1,200 instant rebate on selected Bobcat models at West End Sales at the Highway 1827 West intersection in Vail. Online at westendsales.com and like them on Facebook too.
Welcome back to Sports Talk, last segment of our show. Got a couple things coming in here, I think. Gene asked me when I went to Pisgah, did I see Lincoln play them in the snow? Now, I don't remember that happening. But
well, I remember going up there to see Shelby play Pisgah.
Yeah, that's when we went. It was a playoff game. We saw a playoff game about 15 years ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. We saw a playoff game, Pisgah and Shelby.
Yeah.
And remember the game ball entered by helicopter. Right. Along with the mascot bear getting out of the helicopter, delivered by the mascot bear. Before we talk a little bit about these games, one more set of lyrics this morning, and I'm gonna make it easy on you again, Mike. I'm gonna take you on a trip so far from here.
I know that one.
There you go. There you go. Oh, me. Gene said that's correct. My mistake. So, yeah, I did see Pisgah roll into Lincoln one year in the playoffs and shellac them about 34-0 or something like that.
That's right.
Back in that had to be in the mid '80s, I think, Mike, mid to late. Let's see.
I think it was 89 or 90.
Was it?
Yeah, I was at the game.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the only time I remember seeing Lincoln and Pisgah play each other.
I think that's the only meeting they've ever had. Let's see. It says the game was stopped with 21 seconds to go. I guess this is talking about the Burns game you're talking about. Left because of a fight. That's all I know.
Right.
Yep. And whoever that was, let me go back to that because whoever that was also had the artist right for the lyrics. Yep.
Oh, here's a question. Sheldon Abernathy. Mike, which high school in Lincoln County has the most state titles in men and women's sports? Well, since Shelton is from East Lincoln, I'll go ahead and say East Lincoln. Right? We had 2 last year.
Yeah, I might go with West Lincoln. How many state wrestling titles?
It didn't say wrestling.
Oh, no, it's hands down. Never mind. It's North Lincoln.
Yeah.
It's North Lincoln.
Most state titles in men and women's
it's North
sport.
Lincoln.
North
It's got to be cross country.
Cross country.
Win it every year.
Okay.
They win it every year.
Did you say in Lincoln County? Was that the
Yeah.
Was that the question? Okay.
Yeah.
I would say North Lincoln because they are winning title after title in
That's right.
cross country, and
And
most years
they had a run in golf.
They've
too,
won a
didn't
golf.
Yeah.
Won a baseball.
Yep.
Won a baseball.
Yeah, I would say it is.
At East Lincoln's won swimming,
3 football,
3 football,
and a girls basketball.
Girls basketball.
Yep. So
no track or anything like that.
You left out softball.
They did. They just won softball. It'd be close, but I think North Lincoln, because I don't know how many years I put them on the front page because of winning state titles in the and I think they've even won it. Might have won it even in track too, back in the Jake Sarus days when the young man.
The man who did it all. The man for all seasons.
Yep. Lenny not only gets the artist with the lyrics, but also names the song. Rodney says West Lincoln's won 4 wrestling. West Lincoln's won 4 wrestling, but now that may be it though. I don't know if they've got any in anything else. So I still probably would say North Lincoln. You know, when there for a while they were winning 2 at a time, 2 on the same day.
Yeah,
they were winning boys and girls. In cross
you could
country.
rack them up doing
and
that.
You about rack them up to win it this year. I can't imagine they won't win at least one of them.
Well, it's got to be
or
pretty soon, right?
Or be in the mix. Yes, it is. Yep, Mike, I'm going to take you on a trip so far from here. Now you cohorts in here. Brett said he knows it. Lanny said he knows it. They're giving you opportunity.
Well, what's my problem then? I'm going to take you on a trip. So
I bet if I gave
the
you
next line would give it away. The next 4 words.
You
reckon because it's the title of the song?
Okay.
Basically, it is.
Take you on a trip so far.
You want to hear the next line, Mike?
Yeah, because I don't.
I've got 2 tickets in my pocket. Now, baby, we're going to disappear. Oh, no, he's still stumped. I've got.
Boy.
Wait a minute. The artist was a former New York City police officer.
Yep.
Died recently.
Let me emphasize this, Mike. I've got 2 tickets in my pocket. And baby, we're going to disappear.
Bruce Springsteen?
Nope. Tell him, Brett. Tell him, Lanny.
Eddie Money.
Eddie Mahoney.
Oh, Eddie
2
Mahoney.
tickets to paradise.
2 tickets to paradise. Okay.
Oh, Mike's still asleep. I have to give him benefit of the doubt. He's still asleep this morning.
Eddie Money, not one of my. Yeah, I mean I like him, but.
Oh, I love Eddie Money. I think, I would love to have seen him in concert.
Yeah, he did die not too long ago.
Yeah, I'd love to have seen him in concert. Great voice. Like to have fun. Just like to have fun and crack jokes and do things like that.
Okay, here's one.
Here's
one.
career.
One lyric. There's a killer on the road.
There's a killer on the road. Friday the 13th.
Nope.
Halloween.
Nope.
There's a killer on the road. So it's classic rock because that's all we do. It's not the killers
no.
because we don't do those. We do classic rock. Give everybody a fighting chance. There's a killer on there. Mike's probably got the words mixed up too. He's probably going to be wrong on
Heard it
this.
yesterday.
There's a killer on the road.
It's one of Brett's favorite album. It's Brett's favorite album by a group.
Brett's favorite album by a group.
The group's an album by a group that's his favorite by that group. I guess I should qualify.
I knew what you were saying.
He said it last week here.
So is it the Beatles?
Nope.
Nope.
Think darker.
Darker. Pink Floyd.
Well, that's pretty dark, but no.
I do not know. Give us a rundown on the Wolves and the. Last night, the Lincoln Wolves get a win on homecoming at home. We do have some stats to share on that one.
Here's another line. Into this world we're born.
Okay, let me think about that while you're giving the.
Oh yeah, for the world.
Because I do know that into this world we're born. That sounds very familiar to me. So.
Well, yeah, running down that game.
Talking to your mic.
Oh yeah, here we go. Running down that game. Again, it was a big night for the Boss brothers. Andre Boss, the quarterback, 14 carries, 108 yards, 1 TD rushing, 1 TD passing. Traylon Boss, 103 yards on just 5 carries. He had a 59-yard TD romp, 2 touchdowns on the game. Andre Boss accounted for 200 total yards of offense, passing and running. Wolves scored on the first 4 possessions to seemingly blow the game out, but didn't score on the next 2. 28-14 at the half. Eastburg got the ball back to start the third quarter. Lincoln defense stood up, stopped them. Then the Wolves scored to make it 34-14, and that was really the game. Second half, kind of uneventful. Only 1 touchdown scored after the.
That's hard to believe.
2 touchdowns scored.
Yeah,
by Lincoln.
It didn't slow down that much.
Big plays. Nehemiah Lynch helped the Wolves set up 2 touchdowns with huge returns, including the opening kickoff, went about 50 yards. Lincoln went in from there, and also he had another 45-yard return to set up a Lincoln touchdown. Well, pretty much domination by Lincoln. I thought Eastburg's had a tough break start the third quarter. Jacob Robinson had 16 carries for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half.
That's
turn him up. I can't hear.
That's Dellinger.
Yeah, Jacob Dellinger. I'm sorry. His first carry of the third quarter, he got hurt.
He did.
Looked like a knee. He went out. He did not return to the backfield, and really offensively after that, Eastburg was challenged.
They were. I was looking real quick just to see if I had any notes here, and I do have just a few here. West Lincoln last night, 34-7 by halftime. Cruised to a 54-14 win. Let's see, Jalen Winnick's 1, 2, 3, 4 rushing touchdowns for Winnick's last night. Touchdowns of 1, 46, 17, and 13. Gideon Allen with a couple touchdown as well. 1 rushing, 1 passing. 3-yard touchdown run, 12-yard touchdown pass to Ben Sane. Gray Ponder with a rushing touchdown last night for the West Lincoln.
Now, normally, doesn't he play also for the JVs? Gray.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yes. Quarter guy, right?
And Gus Avery, 3-yard rushing touchdown. Unless you know another way to play for both.
And Gus was the kid that we kept putting in as the PAT guy for West Lincoln because that was his number in the roster, but it turned out to be Brooke Urey, right? So we had to correct that.
43 carries last night for the Rebels. How many yards on the ground?
375.
43 carries for. Now, Mike is no mathematician, but they averaged exactly 10 yards a carry. Can you tell him how many?
430.
430.
43 for 430 last night. 514 total yards. 4 of 6 completions for the team last night. Winnick's finished 12 carries for 238.
Well, that's
and 4 touchdowns.
It's got to be his
almost 20 yards a carry.
And one thing I know a lot of people are wondering if
Caden Smith play?
Smith got back in there, and I do not see his name in the box last night. Keegan Bostic had 4 carries for 24 yards. Let's see. Justin Hamby with carries. Gray Ponder with carries. Lucas Blackburn, Drew Ponder. Keegan Bostic, who I've already mentioned. So I do not see Smith. And
they just spread it
like
around.
we talked about, it was Wes Caldwell last night. They were heavily favored. If you're going to need, if it's questionable to sit him again, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. Get him healthy for
because
the
they
final,
got big games
for
coming
the
up. They got East Park, and then of course Lincoln.
Now I think I'll get your guys' attention. I did. You know how we used to do poll questions? We're going to do one poll question real quick, and I want to do it right now so people have time to send in their pick. And it's not a one of 4. It's a one of 2. Okay? Your poll question for this morning is Salma Hayek or Penelope Cruz?
Salma
Hayek. And the only reason it brought that up this
Penelope Cruz for me.
The only reason I brought that up, if you watch baseball this week, there's a commercial that's got Penelope Cruz in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old she is. She's looking pretty good. Yeah. I don't even know their ages, and I don't even know.
I would have thought both around 50. I would have guessed both of them around 50. But I will say Salma Hayek.
Yeah. I like Salma Hayek. Yeah, I would pick Salma Hayek myself as well. But Mike does go with Penelope Cruz. Now, she was once the girlfriend of Tom Cruise, right? Never married. Cruz was spelled different. You know, it wasn't spelled the same. C-R-U-Z,
they were also in a
C-R-U-I-S.
film together called Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky? Okay. For some reason, I thought that was him and Kidman. But you're the movie man. I can promise you this. I've never seen it.
Oh, Penelope Cruz is 49, and Salma Hayek's 57.
Yeah, Penelope Cruz has been 49 for 10 years.
I know, it seems that way, doesn't it?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, by the way, girls.
Girls?
Ooh, girls on the brain. Who did the song Girls, Girls, Girls?
I am not going to breakfast with Mike this morning.
Hey, Marty Holbrook, the reason I say that, West Lincoln girls, I believe, won a state title in golf in 2021.
Yeah, they have won a state title in golf.
Get that
Got to
in
add
there.
that one to it. They
Thank you,
definitely
Marty.
won a state title in golf. Yes, they have. I know that for sure. But
it looks like you might win one this year. They've been in the paper every week for winning conference matches.
Yep, it's pretty balanced out if you think about it. Now, Lincoln haven't won as many. Lincoln's not going to win them in the non-major sports, but they have a couple football ones.
Did they
and
win
baseball.
a team golf title in the 90s?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Now, hadn't some LinkedIn individuals won cross-country individual titles at the state level?
I don't know about cross country. They definitely have won track
titles.
Track
individual.
Yeah, they've won
boys and
some
girls.
relays in track.
Yeah,
too.
relays too. Yeah.
There was one when I was in school.
Yep.
And then, there was a kid that won a track title 5 or 6 years ago, and then there was also a female. But yeah, y'all are talking about team, so I don't think they won a team state title in track.
Also, Lincoln in '95 in football, a baseball title.
Yeah, I said those.
We did. Okay.
Yep, I said two football and a baseball. I didn't give the year, but and played for a basketball state title in that same era.
They did,
but came up
93.
just short. I thought I was going to get a response from Lenny here on the Penelope Cruz or Salma Hayek, and nobody's answered. I don't know if anybody are you guys afraid? Give me an answer here. But I do
Penelope
get this.
Cruz's role as Boston George Young's wife in Blow turned me against her.
Really?
And she's just playing the role.
Yeah.
It's not her.
I think I've seen that, but I don't.
I love
really
that movie.
remember. But Lenny says Castellanos the first to hit multiple home runs in back-to-back games in playoff history, Major League, and we discovered that the other night
Man,
when he did
that's
it.
kind of hard to believe.
But yeah, multiple home runs in consecutive games.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. I mean, that is
Well, it's impressive, but it's hard to believe nobody's ever done that.
Yeah, I know it ever happened. Reggie Jackson hit 4 in 2 games, but he hit 3 in one, and 1 in the other. So that makes a difference.
Okay, I'm going to give you one more lyric.
Wait a minute, Gene's going with Salma Hayek. Let me read that what we got from our folks first. Let's see, and we got one from Scott Cloninger. Did you notice Pender County scored 106 last week, and this week lost?
Ooh.
How many points did Pender score last night in their loss? And I'll give you a hint. It was 100 less than last week.
Oh, no.
6. 56 to 6.
Wow.
They lose.
How
After
do you
scoring
figure
106, they score
Golly.
6.
no,
Fire
no.
everybody. I'm just kidding. What you got, Mike?
No, okay, well, I said, okay, here we go. This is it. And to this house we're born, and to this world we're thrown like a dog without a bone.
And to this.
I'm very disappointed.
Is it
in
Led
Brett.
Zeppelin?
An actor out of known.
Riders on the Storm.
it.
Oh, okay.
Woo!
Yeah,
Doors.
I can hear
L.A.
it now.
Woman.
Yep.
His
And the other one was
favorite album.
Doors. That's the same song that you gave
Yeah,
us earlier.
yeah.
I was going to tell Brett that it was the Doors
Because
because
he stated last week that L.A. Woman was
I
his
didn't even know
favorite
it was
Doors
the same
album.
song. Somebody said
No, I didn't say that.
Jim Morrison
No.
I thought
earlier.
you said that.
I said Roadhouse Blues was my favorite Doors song. I didn't say anything about an album, though.
Did you not? Okay.
Gene
Listen
says
to
the
stuff.
sun is already coming out. I don't know. Gene is
Good.
vacationing down in the Caribbean somewhere, and he wishes he was. And I wish I was along with him. By the way, Riders on the Storm also says Lenny, and I missed. Somebody answered that earlier. Jim Morrison was come from Rodney Willis.
All right, good job,
He was
Rodney.
actually the first one to say
All right.
that. But
Good
yeah,
deal.
good lyrics there. But
Yeah, I'd
just-
already forgotten about
just
the.
not quite
about
as
the
not
lyric.
quite as good as lyrics as "Show Me the Way to the Next Whiskey Bar."
Yeah, that's your favorite. Off the Doors.
I just like
album.
the beat of that song. If I really had to guess, I would probably say "Break On Through to the Other Side"
That's a favorite.
Would be my favorite Doors.
I kind of like
song.
Riders on the Storm. It's
Yep.
eerie. It's sort of haunting. Yeah.
Rodney. I won't give his last name just in case his wife listening, but Rodney says Salma.
Selma. Penelope for me.
Yeah, another vote for her. We appreciate you tuning in today to Sports Talk. For Mike Powell, Brett Keever, I'm David Keever. We'll see you next week.